Good morning, dear students. Today's topic is Basis, History and Streams of Yoga. Now, what is yoga? It is essentially a spiritual discipline which is based on an extremely subtle science and which focuses on bringing harmony between your body and mind. It is an art and science for healthy living. The term yoga has its verbal root yuj in Sanskrit. Yuj means joining. Yujyate anena iti yogaha. Yoga is that which joins. Now, what are the entities that are joined? In the traditional terminology, it is the joining of Jivatma with Paramatma, the individual self with the universal self. It is an expansion of the narrow, constricted, egoistic personality to an all-pervasive, eternal and blissful state of reality. And one who follows the path of yoga is yogi or yogin. And the freedom state, the end state, the samadhi state is also called as mukti, nirvana, kaivalya or moksha. Now, who is the father of yoga? Maharshi Patanjali is the father of yoga, and one of the great Rishi Patanjali compiled the essential features and principles of yoga, which were earlier said as Upanishads. Patanjali Yoga is one among the 6 systems of Indian philosophy known as Shat Darshana, and he has written a book called Yoga Sutras around 4000 years ago. Totally, there is 196 sutras which are distributed into 4 chapters. They are Samadhi Pada, Sadhana Pada, Vibhuti Pada and Kaivalya Pada. Now let us see the meaning and definitions of yoga. Maharshi Patanjali, according to him, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. The meaning is yoga is the inhibition of modification of mind, or it is a self-control or self-restrainment of mind. When we control the mind, we reach our original state, that is tada drishtah swarupe avasthanam. This is a technique of mind control prescribed by Patanjali. And the control involves 2 aspects: a power to concentrate on any desired subject or object and a capacity to remain quiet at any time. All of us have been developing the first aspect, namely concentration. Rarely the capacity of man to remain calm and silent has been harnessed. According to Swami Vasishta, mana prashmana upayaha yogaha ithyamidiyate. The meaning, yoga is a skillful trick to calm down the mind. It is an upaya, a skillful, subtle process and not a brutal, mechanical, gross effort to stop the thoughts in the mind. Example, an unskilled layman who is trying to repair a radio is almost sure to spoil it, while an experienced and skillful person knows exactly on what to lay his hands on to rectify the defect, and who operates at the right place. So, the knowledge is the key, the state of complete perfection. According to Bhagavad Gita, yogaha karmasu kaushalam, meaning any action done skillfully is yoga. One more shloka. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tektva dhananjaya siddhu siddhu samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Meaning, who is in equilibrium in situation like happy or sad or even minded in success and failure is yoga. Bhagavad Gita, the dexterity is in maintaining relaxation and awareness is action. Kathopanishad, a state of mastery over mind. Yogaha trayam ekatra samyamaha, meaning ultimately we have to become one with the universe. It is a tool which teaches an individual to get rid of, to manage the situation of stress and to keep the mind in calm state. It is a technique of detaching the mind from essential pleasures. Jivatma Paramatma Eko Vasyah Yogaha, meaning it's a merging of Jivatma with Paramatma. It is a process of reuniting our finite microcosmic individual cell with the infinite absolute pure macrocosmic consciousness, where upgrading man from a normal human being into Superman, a godly man and a godhood. According to Vedanta, yoga joins the individual soul with the universal soul. According to Swami Vivekananda, it is a means of compressing one's own evolution into a single life of few months or a few hours of one's own bodily existence. According to Osho Rajneesh, it is the unfolding of mind to reach the deeper level of consciousness. According to B.K.S. Iyengar, it is the education and character building. According to Swami Satyananda Saraswati, yoga is a science of right living and as such is intended to be incorporated in daily life in a more practical level. It's a means of balancing and harmonizing the both body, mind and emotions. And why we have to practice yoga? Any system or process will be accepted by the common man if it can prove its usefulness in the day-to-day aspects of life. But yoga offers man a conscious process to solve the menacing problems of unhappiness, restlessness, emotional imbalance, hyperactivity, etc. in society, and helps to evoke the hidden potentialities of man in a systematic and scientific way by which man becomes a fuller individual. All faculties like physical, mental, emotional, intellectual and spiritual develop in a harmonious and integrated era with its hectic speed. And there are many scope of yoga. One can become a yoga trainer or yoga therapist to treat minor ailments and disorders by imparting coaching in yoga. And the popularity of yoga is becoming wide in whole world. Like one can become a yoga instructor in resorts, gyms, schools, health centers, tourist resorts, housing societies and in large organizations. Even TV channels, they are hiring proficient yoga trainers. And one can opt for self-employment by opening yoga classes or centers. Several renowned personalities, including the celebrities, have been hiring their personal yoga instructors. Now, what are the aims and objectives? The first one is it enhances the functioning of the different system. That means yoga improves posture, increases the intake of oxygen and enhances the functioning of the respiratory, digestive, endocrine, reproductive and excretory systems. Second one, yoga works on mental hygiene. The regular practice of yoga helps us to accept whatever physical or mental conditions we might be suffering from by increasing our immediate sense of well-being, concentration and calmness. Much healing can be done, but it takes practice and consistency. The third one, it possesses emotional stability. Its effects on the emotions are equally beneficial by calming the mind, attuning us to the environment and diminishing insomnia caused by mental restlessness. And to integrate moral values helps in making self-disciplined and to attain higher level of consciousness. Yoga works on a psychological level too. In yoga, one should concentrate on a total awareness of our energy and how it flows. One should also concentrate how body and mind works together, and this leads towards long-term health and well-being. All these objectives could be dealt with an integrated manner. Now let us see the misconceptions of yoga. People think yoga is used only for treating the diseases, and people also think it is limited for certain age group. And people, they think only weak persons, children and aged people should not practice yoga, and they think it is related to certain religions. Thus, the demonstration of siddhis, magic, mantra, tantra, etc. is what most people, even in India, associate with when they hear the term yoga. And they think it's a type of black magic, and they think it is based on superstitious belief. Many among them imagine it is for the yogaist type of a exercise. Yogasanas to be bending and twisting of the body into all possible shapes, positions and patterns, standing on the head and so on. In other words, some sort of acrobatics. People think like that. And they also think the main aim of yoga is for weight reduction. Now let us see the brief history of yoga. Evidences shows that history of yoga is related to the Indus Valley civilization. Yoga is also mentioned in Upanishads, Mahabharata and Ramayana. Maharshi Patanjali gave Yoga Sutra around 147 BC. In different periods they have explained about yoga. One by one. First is pre-Vedic period. All that excavation during Mohenjo-daro and Harappa in Indus Valley civilization reveals that yoga was practiced in some form at that period, like idols, statues and seals which are excavated in various yogic posture. And in Vedic period, some concepts of yoga which were developed later on are seen in Vedas. The three are Yajurveda, which is called as knowledge of sacrifice, Samaveda, knowledge of chants, Atharva Veda, knowledge of Atharvan or fire priest. Next is Upanishadic period. The real basis of yoga was found in this period, and prana and nadis are important topics are discussed in Upanishads. And various yogic practices and their physiological effects are mentioned in this period. In pre-classical period, both epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata are the vital source of information about various types of yogic practices which were used during this period. Bhagavad Gita, which deals with the three paths of yoga, namely Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga. Classical yoga or in Sutra period, Maharshi Patanjali gave Yoga Sutra, which is approximately in 147 BC, and he has written a book called Yoga Sutra, which are divided into 4 parts and which consist of 196 Yoga Sutras, and he also described Ashtanga Yoga or 8 limbs of yoga. And in Smriti period, Smritis were written about 1000 AD, and during this period we find various changes in ideas, beliefs, worship and customs. Pranayama and other purification techniques were used in many religious rituals. And in medieval period, during this period, the 2 cults, Natha cult and Bhakti cult, very famous. Hatha Yoga was evolved and was very popular in Natha cult, and saints of this period were following yoga. And in modern period, different yogis like Swami Vivekananda, Sri Aurobindo played important role in spreading yoga out of India. Yogacharya B.K. Iyengar and Baba Ramdev has inspired millions of Indians and foreigners to use yoga to make them healthy and release mental stress and tension. Even the recent one, Sadhguru. At 69th session of UN General Assembly in New York on 27/9/2014, our PM of India urged the need to celebrate International Day of Yoga for the harmony and peace in the world. And 21st June declared as International Day of Yoga by United Nations. And the first International Day of Yoga was celebrated on 21st June 2015. Now let us see different streams of yoga. There are 4 streams of yoga mainly: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Raja Yoga. We'll see one. Raja Yoga, it's a yoga of mind control. Culturing of the mind is the key to success in almost all our endeavors. The yoga of mind culture or psychic control gives a practical and easy approach to reach higher states of consciousness, it is based on Ashtanga Yoga system of Patanjali. One of the major contributions of Patanjali Yoga Sutras is the 8-limbed yoga, popularly known as Ashtanga Yoga, which gives a comprehensive and systematic approach for developing the mind. And that are Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Yama, from Yama till Pratyahara, it is the external parts. From Dharana to Samadhi, it is the internal parts. The meaning of Yama is restrainment or restrain. Niyama is observances. Asana is the body posture. Pranayama is regulation of breath. Pratyahara is abstraction of senses or withdrawal of senses. Dharana, concentration. Dhyana, meditation. Samadhi, self-realization. Now let us see about Hatha Yoga. It is a physical dimension of yoga philosophy. In order to attain Samadhi, one has to cleanse their mind and body. In order to reach Samadhi state, that's why the 8-limbed of yoga is said. We have to start from social observances. First we have to start from basic, like we have to practice asanas, pranayama, mudra, bandha, meditation, relaxation. At the end is the Samadhi state. In order to reach Samadhi state, we have to practice yoga regularly for the mind control. Hatha Yoga, if practiced regularly, it can cure most of the diseases. Next, same thing, Hatha Yoga, which involves Shatkarma, Asana, Mudra, Pratyahara, Pranayama, Dhyana and Samadhi. Now what is Karma Yoga? It is a whole teacher's essence of Karma Yoga. It is a yoga of action. Do good and be good. Do your job with complete dedication and don't expect anything in return. Dedicate entire work to the Supreme Being or the God. It is a path of work, involves doing action with an attitude of detachment to the fruits of that action. This makes man relieve himself from the strong attachments and thereby brings him to the steadiness of the mind, which is called Yoga, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. The shloka is, once again I'll repeat, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate, which is, the meaning is balancing, everything is yoga. Now Bhakti Yoga. It is a yoga of devotion. Here one makes a strong bond with the God and reaches supreme ecstasy. The control of the emotions is done by the path of worship. In the modern world, man is facing up and down due to various emotional issues. The path of bhakti is a boon to gain control over emotional instability by properly harnessing the energy involved in it. Next is Jnana Yoga. It is a yoga of true knowledge. One experiences higher spiritual consciousness through acquiring knowledge. The age of science has made a rational being. Intellectual sharpness is imminent. Analysis is a tool. The path of philosophy, that is Jnana Yoga, is apt for the keen intellectual and is centered around the analysis of happiness. Next is Kundalini Yoga. When we practice yoga, it helps to awaken the Kundalini energy through regular, as I said, through regular practice of meditation, pranayama, chanting mantra and yogasana, we can awaken the Kundalini. You'll understand in later classes. These are the examples of some yogis. Like Bhakti Yoga, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, then we have B.K. Iyengar for Hatha Yoga, then we have Swami Vivekananda for Jnana Yoga, Mother Teresa for Karma Yoga. Thank you.